Have you ever been on a vacation and thought, man, if I could just live like this at home, I'd feel a lot happier, a lot healthier, a lot more me? Have you ever learned something about a new culture and then applied it to your life at home? Or maybe you've wondered why you feel like you have so much energy on your vacations, like you're in your 20s again. Well, late last year, a study by researchers at Edith Cowan University in Australia was published and showed findings that travel can actually help you live longer. You better believe I sent this out to all of my friends and family. I was like, see, I'm not just banging on about the power of travel for no reason. It can help you live longer. Let's go, people. Even from the data that we have around New Year's resolutions, two of the most common resolutions that we hear are I want to be healthier and I want to travel more or I want to take that trip. We all have that trip. Who knew we could kill two birds with one stone? Well, actually, I already did because I've been in the wellness tourism industry for quite some time, but I digress. We can actually bundle up I want to be healthier and I want to travel more into one resolution. In today's episode, we're going to dive deep into this research and then apply what we learned to set up goals for this year to travel more. Of course, it's for our health, right? Travel like our lives depend on it. And at least that's what I'm going with. Maybe that'll be my new tagline. It seems a bit serious though. Okay, so back to the research. According to Science Daily, this interdisciplinary study has applied the theory of entropy to tourism, finding that travel could have positive health benefits, including slowing down the signs of aging. That's right. And you don't have to spend any more money on those expensive retinol creams or whatever whatever treatments that you're going to. Put it aside, put it into a fund for travel because travel can slow down the signs of aging. And for those of you that just heard that word entropy and said, "Huh?" Entropy is classified as the general trend of the universe towards death and disorder. Sounds fun, right? The entropy perspective suggests that tourism could trigger entropy changes, where positive experiences while traveling might mitigate entropy, increasing and enhancing your health, while negative experiences may contribute to entropy increasing and compromising health. We'll get back to the show in just a moment. At the end of every episode, I always ask my guests what their favorite must have travel item is. And I want to take a quick moment to share with you one of mine, a travel companion that's just as essential as your passport: Arch Rome Right Travel Insurance. Whether you're exploring the vineyards of Italy or trekking through the Andes, travel is thrilling and transformative. But sometimes unexpected events can put a pause on our plans. That's where Arch Rome Right steps in. With a focus on specialized travel insurance solutions, they're here to assist you in navigating those unforeseen travel hiccups. I once was stuck in the middle of an island in Indonesia during a massive earthquake, and we lost personal belongings, 3 months worth of accommodation, and we racked up expenses with last minute flights and hotels. I only wish I knew about Arch Rome Right travel insurance back then. From trip cancellations and medical emergencies to lost luggage and delays, Arch Rome offers insurance plans that cover what matters most, and most importantly, gives you peace of mind. Each plan is backed by Arch Insurance's strong financial ratings and a team dedicated to exceptional customer service, recognized for their expertise and responsiveness. But what truly sets Arch Rome apart? Their innovative approach combines state of the art technology with real human experiences, providing you with transparent and swift service. Join the millions who trust Arch Rome and make your next trip a little smoother. Head to the show notes to find and use my personal affiliate link to get a quote today. Thanks to Arch Rome for supporting our show. ECU PhD candidate Miss Fangli Hu said, aging as a process is irreversible. While it can't be stopped, it can be slowed down, which is what billions of dollars of the beauty industry is trying to help us do, right? Miss Hu noted that positive travel experiences could enhance individuals' physical and mental wellness through exposure to new experiences and places, being physically active, social interactions with others, and fostering of positive emotions. And this is not necessarily new. The wellness tourism industry has been talking about the health benefits of travel for decades. If you've been listening to my podcast for a while, you would have heard me talk about this go on and on and on and on. And it's why I feel so strongly about travel as a personal development tool. On episode 48 of the podcast, Susan Winograd explains why travel should be a part of everyone's long term health care plan. Just listen to what she has to say.
So, first of all, we all know that evidence based research has shown that social interaction and face to face interactions with other people is imperative for mental health and well being and pelvic health and well being. So, thank goodness we're getting to that place again where people are flying and traveling, because we need to not only create those social interactions and that person to person interactions, but doing new, novel things, new experiences that you've never done before is not only so important for your mental health, it's important for your brain health. It is just so important in nervous system regulation. I would say even mood regulation. I would even go so far to say it's important for sexual health. It creates a new context, a new environment. I think travel, if possible, should be, even if it's a staycation, should be part of everybody's long term health plan.
Science Daily used the term travel therapy. And honestly, I feel like they just titled my future memoir. Miss Hu said that travel therapy could serve as a groundbreaking, listen to this, groundbreaking health intervention when viewed through the entropy lens. So let's take a quick look at the physiological response to travel. What is happening within our bodies when we travel? So, tourism, when you're traveling from your home to somewhere else, it typically is going to expose you to new environments, right? New surroundings, perhaps a relaxing activity. And these new and novel experiences, like Susan explained to us, can stimulate a positive stress response and elevate your metabolic rates. And positively influencing your metabolic rate allows for the body to self organize in an efficient and optimal way. And if you just heard that and you were like, what the heck did you just say, Kelly? Listen to the way that Miss Hu put it. She said, put simply, the self defense system becomes more resilient. Hormones conducive to tissue repair and regeneration may be released and promote the self healing system's functioning. To me, this is really interesting in terms of the immune response because in episode 38, Annika Paradise, who's the co author of The Wonder Year, talks about how when she traveled with her family for a year, they rarely got sick. I asked her about this, and this is what she said. We don't all know this, but a lot of us who work in self-care and you do a lot of yoga and wellness know that when your nervous system is regulated and calm, your body can fight, your immune system can fight diseases and colds and all that better. I never thought about how together time was, as a family, so directly linked to stronger immune system or getting less sick on the road and of course the fresh air.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, we didn't have as many colds or bugs during that year than we do at even this year at home. So much of that can just be we're pulled off our centers when we are at home with all the hectic schedule.
And I think sometimes when we think about traveling, we think, oh, I'm going to get sick or something's going to happen. But in my experience as well, traveling with my own family for 5 weeks at a time, 6 weeks at a time, I also found myself not really getting as sick as I do at home. And the reason that this might be happening is that, according to Miss Hu and Silence Daily, leisure travel activities may help alleviate chronic stress. It might help lower that overactivation of the immune system where it's like everything seems like a threat. So we're just going to get inflamed and you're going to have all these symptoms. It can encourage normal functioning of your immune system, can release tension and fatigue in the muscles and joints. Don't we all want that? It can help maintain the body's metabolic balance. And because of this, organs and tissues can then remain in a low entropy state. And as we talked about before, a low entropy state could look like slowing down the signs of aging. That could look like travel helping you live longer. And of course, when we're traveling, even if you're on a all-inclusive flop on the beach vacation, there's still a lot of movement that might be happening. Even getting from one side of the resort to the other might be more walking than you would do in a day sitting at your desk. So a lot of travel encompasses physical activities, and some of this might look like hiking, climbing, walking, swimming, cycling. You might try yoga. There's so many things that you might be doing that you wouldn't do in your day-to-day activity. And as we know, physical activity is so important to help boost the metabolism, to help allow for improved blood circulation. It helps aid in waste elimination. And this all helps in your self healing system. It also is great for bone density, for your muscles, for your joints. And you're also potentially exposing yourself to new activities that you may not have had time for at home. You might have been like, man, I've been trying to go to yoga for 2 years. And on this vacation, I went to yoga class 3 times because you finally have the time to do it. So you're exposing yourself to these new activities. You're feeling how good it feels to walk at sunrise. You're feeling how good it is to make time for more time in nature. And you might think to yourself, this could be something that I take home with me. And so it goes beyond just how the travel experience itself could help you live longer. It's also about how we integrate these amazing positive experiences in our body and bring it back home with us for a more robust health experience at home. We're also exposed to new foods. So, in an article done by the Washington Post, they said, though this particular study from ECU, did not single out a specific diet, research over the years has touted the benefits of the Mediterranean diet. So, the JMA Network Open, for instance, concluded that more than 25,000 women who adhered to this diet lowered their risk of dying by up to 23% during the 25-year study. And so, what I find really interesting about that is not to say everyone go run out and eat the Mediterranean diet. What I find interesting is that when we went to Greece, when my retreat and group travel company R&R took a group to Greece 2 years ago, almost every single person said, I feel so much better eating the Mediterranean diet, the oils, the Greek salads, the fish, all of that. Everyone felt so much better. And what was very interesting as we came home, almost every single person made their Greek salads and went to the Greek restaurants and bought the Greek cookbooks. And we were inspired by how good we felt by eating a certain culture's food. And what's really interesting is there's a big trend right now in blue zone travel. So Dan Buettner coined the blue zone, where it is in a specific area in the world that there's a highest concentration of people living to 100 and beyond, centenarians. And so these places are blue zones like Costa Rica and Loma Loma, California, certain areas in Japan, certain areas in Italy, in Greece. And people are traveling to these locations to learn about how these destinations in the world are bringing about a life of longevity, but not just I'm living to 100, but I'm stuck in my chair. They're living vibrant lives up to 100. And so people are really, really interested in how to bring all that. Travel can do that for you. Travel can bring you these experiences of learning about how other cultures are living so that they can live a more vibrant life at home as well. In the new year, many of us are setting resolutions and embracing new challenges, like dry January. But just because you're cutting back on alcohol doesn't mean you have to miss out on the joy of cracking open a great beer on your next vacation. That's where Best Day Brewing comes in. Brewed in Northern California and crafted for the doers, the trailblazers, the early risers, the adventurers, yes, that's you. Best Day creates the perfect non-alcoholic beer for life's special moments. Whether you're relaxing on the beach or celebrating a great day on the slopes, life is chock full of moments that deserve a great beer, but not the booze. And let me tell you, Best Day delivers with the world's best tasting craft beer, minus the alcohol. You get all the flavor and none of the compromise. I've been alcohol-free for over a year, and Best Day has been my best bud throughout this process of feeling better than ever. Their Kolsch, Electro Lime, and Hazy IPA are my go-to favorites. Learn more and shop at bestdaybrewing.com or at bestdaybrewing on Instagram. Cheers to your best day yet. Lastly, mental health, right? So we know that there's so many physical benefits to travel at this stage. We've talked about it from the research out of ECU, from your own personal anecdotes of how great you can feel while you travel, but also there's this mental health piece.
Self care is such a buzzword now, but what does it mean? It could mean different things to different people, and we need to hold people accountable to not only talking the talk, but walking the walk. Because in the end, no one's going to take care of us but ourselves. So we got to get out there, even if it's a staycation, and really take time to create new experiences, new social interactions, and everything we just talked about. You know, I'm a busy mom, I'm a busy grandmother, I'm a busy entrepreneur. My husband and I do staycations every 2 or 3 months. We will book a hotel in Miami or Weston, somewhere that's close to Boca but not in Boca, and just get away together and reconnect. I don't want to wait until I feel like I'm going to have a nervous breakdown in order to do that. So when we're on one staycation, we already have the next one planned.
Now, there is something that we need to mention here. And in the research, they did also mention that there is a flip side to travel. So, when you're traveling, you're exposing yourself to new environments, which we know has positive physical, mental, emotional benefits. But also, because you're exposing yourself to new environments, you're exposing yourself to the risk of infectious diseases that you might not have been exposed to before. You're exposing yourself to situations where you might get into an accident. Maybe you're hiking more, so you might be exposed to injury. There's water and food safety issues, of course, in certain parts of the world. So it's not to say that travel is this end all be all, pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. There definitely are situations where you could have negative experiences that could impact you. You could get sick or something that could affect your health. But it is something that I think personally, the benefits far outweigh the risks, especially if you're doing so, if you're traveling with the support of a travel advisor who can give you all of the tips and tricks to stay healthy and safe. And if you are just generally keeping your wits about you while you're traveling. This research is relatively new. It came out in September 2024, but it is such an exciting area. I hope they continue to expand upon it so that we can really not just speak from an anecdotal level of how transformational travel can be, but really have the research to back it up. It's interesting to see that when wellness and health is really starting to catch on in an industry, we can see large hotel brands are including wellness and health as part of their everyday offerings. So things like lights that are promoting the healthy circadian rhythm, water quality, having juices and cleanses and healthy foods at the restaurants, daily programming around wellness, and just so much more. We know that health is at the forefront of people's minds at this stage. And it's not just about going to that one wellness retreat or that one wellness hotel for a specific program. People want it baked into their everyday lives. And that includes while they're traveling. So let's recap. Edith Cowan University in Australia published and showed findings that travel can actually help you live longer. Entropy is classified as the general trend of the universe towards death and disorder. The entropy perspective on this research suggests that tourism could trigger entropy changes where positive experiences might mitigate entropy, and which means that might slow down the aging process and it could increase and enhance your health. Tourism typically exposes people to new surroundings, relaxing environments, novel settings, and this can all stimulate a positive stress response that helps you elevate your metabolic rate and can trigger an adaptive immune response, which basically means that our system is adapting to its environment, not blaring its horns at you and showing all these signs and symptoms of inflammation and illness, and that you're generally reacting to your environment in a much more positive state. Physical activity and exposure to new diets can improve your life at home, which you could have been exposed to more while you're traveling. And new and novel experiences can increase your mental health. And it creates a new environment and a new context for improved relationships and intimacy. We know that social connections is one of the leading factors in how long and how well someone lives. So, what's not to love? Are we all putting travel at the top of our bucket list this year, at the top of our New Year's resolutions this year? We know that travel is good for us now, right? Let's take a look at our year ahead. What are your overall goals? Whether that's health, whether that's travel, whether that's relationship, or within work. whatever is most important to you. How can you fit more travel in to help you with those goals? So maybe you do have a health goal this year, and traveling to a country that's going to allow you to lean into and focus on your health, or where you'll learn about the way that that culture lives, can help you focus and benefit your health. Maybe travel can help you in that regard. Maybe if your goals around health, you want to join a specific retreat or a specific program. If your goals around improving your relationships with your partner, with your kids, if you want to learn how to be more present with your family, travel could be a great way to carve out that one-on-one, carve out that specific dedicated time to spend together and be able to improve those connections, improve that relationship. You're adding, as Emily Calvo in a previous episode on the podcast has said, it adds coins to your emotional piggy bank that is that relationship when you travel and you spend that time together. And perhaps it's work. Perhaps you have work or professional goals. How can travel help you get there? Maybe you have to travel for work. And how's a way in which that you could take what you've learned from that new city or from that new place and weave it into your conversations with potential clients, with potential sponsors, with a potential promotion? I have had business meetings with Indian suppliers or Indian sponsors, and they've seen my tattoo that has Sanskrit on it because I was so inspired by my time in India and by my yoga practice. And they asked me about it. And I had the experience to back it up. And we had conversations about what it meant and what it meant for them. And it enhanced my career, my travel experiences. So there's ways in which we can look at our overall resolutions, overall goals for the year, and we can allow travel to help amplify those goals and help us further along the way. So, if you're keen on making travel a priority for you this year, please email me at transformwithtravel@gmail.com, or you can send me a DM on Instagram at transformwithtravel, and we can book in a free consultation call to make it a reality. I am here as your trusted travel advisor, and I'm here to support you in experiencing the world, making it feel good, taking the hassle out of travel so that you can lean into all of the lessons and the transformation that travel has to offer you. I hope this episode really helps shine a light on especially the research around how travel can help you live longer and the ways in which that we can support our goals this year by bringing travel into our life. Please share this with a friend if you're like, whoa, this episode blew my mind, as when I first read this research, it did for me. Please share with a friend, share with a family member, share with a colleague at work. I would love nothing more than that. And I am so excited to see you for the next episode. Thanks for tuning in to the Transform with Travel podcast. If you have a friend or a loved one you were thinking of during this episode, spread a little love and share this episode with them, someone who could use a little inspiration. And while you're at it, be sure to subscribe to the podcast as well. To learn more about us, head to www.transformwithtravel.co, and I'll see you on the next episode. This is your reminder to keep on exploring.